So, ladies and gentlemen, fanboys and girls, nerds, geeks, and otaku, welcome back and welcome home.
Happy New Year, folks. Yes, it's us. We are back. It's the new year. It's 2025. And it sucks already, so.
Wait, we're not that bad, are we?
I'm having a great year so far.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Shut up, Les.
That's what I've been doing lately. I'm like, oh, you're having a good year, huh?
I haven't been to a single show in 2025, so
yeah, folks.
this is the only show.
So in 2025, our first show back for the new year. I hope you guys are ready to have some fun. We are going to be kicking it off with Les, Blake, and Rich hanging out here, talking stuff, and showing you some new stuff.
I like new stuff.
New things.
Shiny.
Exactly. You know, it's Christmas. It just passed. We got a lot of new stuff, so we need to unpack.
Yeah. Now I got to figure out what to do with all the Christmas stuff.
That's the problem with Christmas stuff.
I was going to say, what decorations?
Right?
You pack it away till next year.
Yeah, and this is the first year of my life I've done Christmas with a kid. So I've got a little 9-year-old stepson who got so many toys for Christmas to go on top of his mountain of toys that he already have, and which is built on top of a bunker full of toys that he already had. So
yeah,
congratulations.
There's like a ton of toys
right
from a certain kid
right
in his house.
Right. I think it's you.
Well,
you're that kid.
That's the other kid. That's the other kid.
Yeah. Well, that's like the thing where our toys just get bigger as we grow.
Right.
Oh, they
That's
do.
true.
That is true. End of set. It's like, hey, fellas, we made it to 2025 on the Bitten Apple. You're right.
Yo, what's up, Zed?
Really?
How are you?
Oh my God. Dudes, man, it's just been an interesting. Like, I don't know. We are busy here at Bitten Apple because this is our 10th year. In October, we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary.
Wow.
We've been doing this now for 10 years. We started off in 2015 because we got tired of doing it for somebody else. And then we started going, we should do this for ourselves.
Yeah. And here we are.
Like I said earlier, before we went live, congratulations.
I'm amazed we have lasted this long because this industry kind of burns you out and spits you back.
Well, with that said, hope you have 10 more wonderful years.
I hope so.
Even more.
I appreciate that.
That's better.
And this whole show,
20 kind of okay years would be fine too, right?
No, I would love 20 kind of okay years.
Okay.
It's so, right?
Yeah. It's so funny because this show started off as a whole other show. This channel started off as a whole other thing. We were doing I was doing my writing show, which was pre-recorded. My partner Cadden was doing a show about her crazy life, which was pre-recorded. And all of a sudden in 2020, everything got switched around, and we started doing our lives, which is what this is now, folks. And because in 2020, what happened was we weren't doing the cons, we weren't going to the conventions, we weren't putting the interviews up on YouTube like we used to. And we had friends out there going, Ralph, I got all the stuff that I'm making because I'm home, but I got nowhere to sell it. I'm like, you know what? Come on. Let's do a live show and we'll showcase what you got and we'll have people go to you. And that's how this started.
I like that. I like that.
It turned the frown upside down, man.
Exactly.
I came on 2022, I think.
But
Man,
I've known Tony for longer than that.
Well, we know, yeah, forever. But
I was actually scheduled to be at 35 shows that year.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, 2020 was looking for us to be like a big year because 2019 was a big year for us. We were at so many shows in 2019. Oh my God. So I can imagine.
It's like we got all excited about 2020, just us D&D nerds because it's, 2 nat 20s. But when we thought, it's going to be great.
20s, it just was a guess.
I know. See, that's right. We didn't realize it was going to be the DM.
Exactly.
Nat 20s.
It was a reset.
Yeah, right. Yeesh.
Dude, that was us rolling a 1 and them rolling 220.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, that was one global oof.
Well, hopefully we all came out of the other end, better, and
we want to talk about so many bad
way.
things. So many bad things came out of COVID, but at the same time, like a lot of good things came out.
Yeah, a lot of good things.
Bare bones. People learn how to wash their hands.
the simple things.
They're all liars. They're not. They're all damn dirty liars.
Well, yeah.
Now, if we could just convince con goers to wash the rest of themselves, we'll all be happy.
But where's the charm in that, Rich?
Shower in the entrance.
Con funk is a thing, guys.
What would a con be without all that BO?
It would be much more enjoyable.
That's the effervescence of con.
Exactly.
Dude, I tell you, sometimes I feel like a French fop because I've got like a handkerchief with potpourri in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like,
oh no, dude. See, I'm all about that natural immunity, dude. I just walk in and I'm like, bring it in, folks.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Indie Comics Outlet says, I came out of COVID with a better understanding of how stupid people can actually be. I have to agree with you.
I always say every time you think that,
Here's to that.
It's like hold my beer. It's like
there are some interesting characters.
Until this point, I always looked at zombie movies, and I always watch that guy who gets bitten and hides it, and go, that would never happen. And then I was like, oh my God, that would definitely happen.
That would totally happen. It's so real.
I mean, damn good and well, if I get bitten by one, I'm hiding it because I'm gonna be like, well, I'm going out. Let's make this interesting.
We go KR. Con funk.
Not me.
Oh my God, yeah. I thought the cons were pumping in the small ambiance.
Oh,
I want to bottle that shit. It's like you decline. Just.
Hi, Mystic. How are you?
It's terrible.
Jordan, what's up?
Hey,
welcome.
I was about to say, Jordan, why aren't you here?
Well, he was supposed to be here last week.
Oh, that's right. Jordan showed up last week when Rich was supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
I promoted this stuff for you.
Nice.
Jordan's my
like
boy,
that.
man. He was a super backer on Homestead.
Oh yeah.
So, and I know everybody's probably mad at me because I'm way behind on my leg of some fulfillment on that with shipping out original pages and some artwork and stuff. But it's all coming soon.
Yeah, good.
Well, it's a lot of work, so we understand.
That ain't the only thing I'm waiting on.
No.
I'm waiting on those next issues of a certain comic so I can see myself.
Oh yeah, Rain.
Yeah. Well, I gotta finish those. So.
No, you gotta write those. Draw those damn things.
Yeah, I haven't been in the mindset to go back and finish Reign of Dracula because I've been so focused on Angel Hunter and I'm having so much fun writing it that I don't really want to go back and play the vampire sandbox for a while. It's been nice to get outside of horror and kind of stretch my legs a little bit in the world of fantasy.
Well, it's like I was showing off last week. I finally got my damn thing from Ralph.
Nice.
Now if I'd only get the poster, but
I gotta. That one's not my fault.
God.
I know it's gone.
I just let it go.
It's gone.
Hear that? Last time to draw another one.
Yeah, Rich. I have a poster that I'm supposed to give Jordan, but somebody in my house decided to move things around, and I can't find it.
It was it was that.
It was the elf. It was the elf mischief.
It was the exclusive poster from what con was that?
Big Apple.
Which one was it?
Yeah, Big
Was
Apple.
it the? Oh, dude, you haven't given him the poster for Big.
That's
for
the one.
Big Apple, really?
That's the one that
Dude. I haven't done Big Apple. That was like 3 years ago, dude.
That was 3 years ago.
Hey Jordan, did you catch my stream earlier today? My show?
I did not, unfortunately.
You missed this being made. This is one side of it.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
That looks really
that's
cool.
definitely some Bernie vibes there, dude.
Let's see if I can put the camera down here on it. It's one of a 2-page spread. So then here's the other page.
Damn.
There's like 40 some characters on this thing.
Yep, your 2025 is filling out quite nicely.
That is
It's
amazing.
an absolutely insane book.
That is dude.
Especially.
Why don't you tell them about how many characters I made you draw on a page?
You're vile. There's literally a point in the damn script from him that called for 144 cherubim.
Oh.
Yep.
And I remember I called him up and I was like, hey, Rich, I want you to try something. Say the words 144 cherubim. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Draw it. Even stick figures. Draw 144 stick figures.
They'd look terrible.
Like a box of matches.
You realize that
Right.
that's an asshole move.
Yeah.
But I did it. I did it.
He did it. And he crushed it. I mean, this page is so much fun. I mean, we've got 144 cherubim. We've got seraphim. We've got the wheels. We got all the different choirs and principalities.
If you guys bring up my screen share, you'll see some stuff.
No.
Damn.
Nice.
I'll scroll on down here and give you a little taste of some of it. God, it's
I
way
got a
down
chance to
deep.
see a lot of this.
It's at pages like 50 something. Yeah, like right here, pages 48 and 49. There's like 144 cherubim on that page, and it's nuts.
The channel the inner George Perez and
George Perez is looking down from you from heaven, going, "Yes, my chun."
Yeah.
It's funny. Rich says he wanted to get away from horror for a little bit, and then has me in the middle of this drawing decapitated, dismembered bodies having babies pulled out of them by a demon.
Damn.
We're getting a little bit away from the horror.
That's horrific. I got it. Okay, fine. I can't get that far away from horror. I have to go with who I am.
Just when you thought you were going away, you were sucked back in.
Exactly.
I don't want to have the heart attack right after that.
I gotta say, I got a chance to see a lot of this art when I was looking at the stuff that Rich sent me, and I was like, "Damn, Les, you upped your game."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have. I mean, okay. So for anybody who doesn't know, I'm now 23 months the other side of having had a double ischemic stroke.
Yeah.
That wiped out the entire left side of my body. Told me I'd never walk again and I'd never use my left arm again, to which I said, F you, doc, I'll walk out of this damn hospital. And while I was in the hospital for 6 weeks, that was actually when I was doing page layouts for Homestead on an iPad.
Yeah, I remember.
And then I came out of there and hit the ground running on Reign of Dracula. Reign of Dracula, then finished Homestead. Was actually kind of doing the two at the same time. Then hot on the heels of that,
like one with his left hand, one with his right too.
Well, no, my left hand still doesn't work, but I lift with it. But the full total in the last 23 months, I've drawn, if you count paintings, commissions, and concept art, I've done somewhere in the neighborhood of 550 pages of artwork.
Mm-hmm.
In 1 year, man.
Nice. Nice.
So
I've worked with artists that I'm lucky to get a page every 3 weeks, and Les can turn them in like that, man. It's crazy.
Right now I've got my pace up to where I'm averaging 4 to 6 pages a day.
Damn.
That's some Jack Kirby stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
That's my entire mantra. Like literally, as I was in the hospital from the stroke, I was like, okay, good Lord saw fit not to take away my right hand. Well, guess what? I can't play guitar right now. I can't go do karate right now. I guess what I've got left is drawing.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, I was like, one, Frank Frazetta still did some of his best work on the other side of a stroke. And two, I was like, I'm going to lean into my Bernie influence because Bernie is my hero. And I thought, I was like, can I channel Bernie with the speed of Kirby? What'll it take to get me there? So I literally have just pushed everything else aside. I haven't done, because outside of comics, I did 3D modeling and animation for, 2 decades.
Right.
And I pushed everything else aside. I'm like, I'm doing nothing but comics right now. And I'm going to pound it like I've never pounded it before. And, it's like nearly 2 solid years of, I guess, we'll see, I was in the hospital for 6 weeks. So 21 and a half months of just wake up at 5 a.m., pound the crap out of pages until 5 p.m. every single day. It yields results.
Yes, it does.
It does.
And Angel Hunter right in front of you, that is definitely a representation of the amazing work.
Oh, I'm really, really happy. And it was very interesting for me because Rich wanted this to be an American manga. So
right.
For me, it was a matter of like, how do I thread that needle, And
I don't think Les and I have ever argued more than.
And the key to that equation,
manga.
I will confess, off the rip, I did not want to do manga on this. I really did.
Fought me every single inch. He fought me on that.
This will probably be the only book I ever venture into a manga sort of thing. Actually, I take that back. I actually have a book that I'm writing that will probably have a manga tint to it, but I'm not going to draw it. So,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I've got a young man who actually does colors for me on a lot of things that has really come a long way, and he'll be doing the interiors on it. But threading the needle of the artwork on this meant like I still had that promise to myself. I'm like, channel Bernie with the speed of Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and now how do I pair that with manga? So I started doing a little research, and frankly, my son for years tried to get me into a lot of different manga because he's real big into it. And he had suggested to me 2 or 3 years ago that I read Berserk.
No, Berserk's awesome.
Berserk, yeah.
And
yep.
And then when I came back around, of course, I did get into some Junji Ito because horror and Japanese horror is kind of the shit.
Yeah.
And I started looking at Berserk and then doing a little research and found out that the guy behind Berserk was actually a big Bernie Wrightson fan. And I'm like, oh,
small world.
Peanut butter.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
okay. So I get to looking at it. I'm like, yep, I can see it. And I'm like, this is literally the best manga I've ever seen. And he's literally borrowing from one of my heroes, and I look at what he's done with it, and I'm like, oh, so I'll just bring some of that back stateside. And
I can never see I can never see the influence in the artwork. Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, and what we ended up settling with was some influences from Berserk, Attack on Titan, things like that. So we finally nailed that art style. I think in the beginning, Les kind of saw manga and anime the way that I used to see it, which it's all just goofy One Piece and Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff that I have absolutely no interest in. But then about 2 years ago, Tiffany introduced me to Attack on Titan, and I lost my mind with being just absolutely obsessed with this show. And it influenced my storytelling incredibly. So, you're going to see a lot of, as you read through Angel Hunter, you're going to see influences from Attack on Titan, Battle Angel Alita, Naruto. You'll see all trying to pull all of those influences in and make a coherent story out of it. And I'm really glad Les came around on the art, because it was really important to me. If we're gonna do a manga, which is a very specific type of, it's a comic book, but it's a very specific type of comic. And with the Japanese culture being so protective over it, as an American, if we were going to delve into that, I wanted to make sure that we were paying respect to the genre in every way that we could, because if you're not going to respect it, then why bother doing it? Why not just do another American comic? Right. So when Les's idea for the art finally clicked with what I was writing, it just took off. And I literally, I couldn't ask for any better. I really do enjoy the art.
The irony of all that is I actually tangentially worked for Kodansha about 20 years ago. I did back then. I used to in the animation side of things, in 3D side of things. There was a studio in England called Renga Media that got in touch with me a long time ago, and their principal writer, producer, and owner was a guy who became one of my best friends in my entire life, a guy named Tony Kurozumi Luke. He was half British, half Japanese, if I'm correct. And Tony had actually worked for Kodansha. He had been, I think he was the first non-Japanese person that they hired to do art. And Tony had put together a property called Dominator that he worked on with writer Alan Grant. And I was brought in as a technical director and a character designer to build up these characters so that animators in England could work with them.
Right.
Well, a lot of the assets for that ended up being used, I think, in different, also in different manga that were back with Kodansha. So there was a lot of back and forth stuff there, and that just sort of, I got to work with a guy named Akira Kurosawa, who did all these great designs on Devil Man and Devil Girl. So in the end, it was like I kind of found my way back to that, right. Working on this was like I actually have a lot of connections and influence from Japan, a lot of love of Japanese culture. I speak a lot of Japanese, and so I found my way back into that, and it was like, okay, it was like once. I think I needed to see Berserk, and then the things from Kira, my friend in Japan with that started to filter through, and I don't know, just there's an over the top nature to it,
right?
That is a different sensibility than most American comics, and once I kind of grasped that, it's not even so much grasped it. Once I said, okay, I'm just going to go, I'm going to go elbow deep in this and see where it leads. I was real happy with it. I really, one thing that I took away from it that I actually want to bring to a lot of American comics that I do is the use of the halftones. I absolutely have fallen in love with using these halftones and building that kind of stuff. There's a little moire pattern showing on the screen right now because, you know, that just happens when you're showing it on screens.
Right.
Yeah, and I love how you're showing me this particular page and torturing me with that. I have wicked arachnophobia, and I'm sitting here staring at this page with all the spiders on it. And I'm like, damn it, Les.
Yeah, I really fell in love with like using the halftones to create the backdrop and things like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's something. It's kind of funny that kind of unlocked a thing for me in doing the artwork to this, because it is, compared to other scripts that I normally work with, this is incredibly busy. And I don't say that in a bad way, but it's busy in that sense that there's just a ton of stuff to figure out how it, there's a ton of stuff to figure out how it was going to go into each page. So, I mean, I approach drawing comics from a standpoint a lot of times of this may seem weird, but to me, it's almost a question of engineering.
Makes sense.
Because I'm not like, I think of Rich. Rich is the artsy one in this stuff. Rich is my artsy fartsy friend. I'm
Absolutely.
not. I mean, I'm an artist, but I'm like a meat and potatoes down in the dirt. I've got to get this stuff done kind of artist. I mean, I'm I had somebody tell me the other day that I remind them of artists from the 30s, and I'm like, I take that as a high compliment. So, all of it is, I read a script and I reverse engineer it. I look at it and go, okay, how many pieces are in this? How many events are in this moment? And it becomes a question. I honestly treat it like a math problem, and then I work it out, and then it finds its way. And then once it's finally on the page, finally starts going on the page, that's when it gets fun, and I cut loose on it.
I gotta say, Rich, this thing looks epic. The art is just making it even look more epic. But what I did get to see, what you sent me, it has an epic scope feel to it. It doesn't feel like oh, here's a comic I'm doing. No, this feels like here's a story we're crafting together.
Yeah, this is likely the most ambitious thing I've ever written, but I believe in it. So the way that we're releasing Angel Hunter, we're essentially skipping the floppy phase.
Right.
Floppies, I hate to say it as someone who also sells comics, floppies are kind of dead. Especially with independent books, if you're not Marvel and DC or Image, it's really, really difficult to sell a floppy issue in a store. Now, Kickstarter is an entirely different story. I know there's people out there making hundreds of thousands on that. Right. But so what we're doing is we're going with a more traditional manga style release. Right. Each book is going to be Les, we've settled on like 92 pages for volume 1. Is that correct?
Wow. I think volume 1 is I think it's topping out around 96.
That's what I was thinking after adding
somewhere between 92 and 96, and then there's also bonus material. So like there will probably be versions of this that are over 110 pages.
Wow. Absolutely. And we're releasing those. I see this story playing out over 10 volumes. And I look at a volume as what would essentially be 6 issues in a traditional floppy comic.
Right.
So, a couple reasons to do that. One, it's again paying respect to the manga genre, because that's how they release their books. But also it gives me and Les really the opportunity to tell this story with an epic scope, the way that I see it in my head. Right. We're gonna meet these characters in the very first book. We meet a character named Go. We meet Azar Raza, and we meet Saoirse. And those three are our main perspective point of view characters. And we meet them as children. And well, actually, we technically meet them as babies, but you don't know that until deeper in the book. So we meet them as kids. We're going to watch them grow into teenagers, young adulthood, senior adulthood, and then they're going to die. Death is real in Angel Hunter. The stakes are high. You can turn a page and lose a character that you absolutely loved, and I love that.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah, talking about Athelstan, aren't we?
That you sent me, right away, you were like, "Oh, okay, we're getting to know this character," and then boom, the character's dead. You're like, "What?"
Yep.
Pulls at your heart. Pulls at your heartstrings once you get invested in the character. That's good storytelling.
Yep. I remember, when I was reading George R.R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire books, I was terrified sometimes to turn the page because I knew if I turned that page, one of my favorite characters could just have his head lopped off. And so I wanted to kind of create that same fear. Angel Hunter is all about the characters. I mean, if we're looking at the plot, it's nothing special. It's been done a million times. It's a very simple Eren Yeager revenge plot.
Right.
But what makes Angel Hunter soar are the characters. This is all about the character and their story and their personality. And, the way that Les has drawn these characters, I think it really brings them to life. I'm really proud of the story that we're telling. I think it's very engaging. I
got to show Dragon's Bay. Sorry.
Oh my God. Yes. Gotta love this page.
So there's two-page spreads that I was like, man, I got to show these. So here we start off with Dragon's Bay and our little guy right here. And the next page, I love this page. So
yes,
load it.
And holy shit, I love that. I love that page. I never get tired of seeing that page. It is gorgeous.
Wow.
That
and
page,
in this scene,
I was talking about the mathematics of working out pages. This one took a lot of thought to figure. I was like, okay, how's this going to work? And this will be one of those things that like sometimes I do lectures at different schools and things and on comics and comic book art. And this is one that I will absolutely be bringing up and go, okay, here you go. Continue, Rich. I didn't jump on you.
No, you're good, dude. Yeah, perfect timing because I wanted to talk about Go a little bit. So when you meet Go in this scene, he lives in Dragon's Bay. He's a paraplegic aspiring. Wannabe's not the right word. He's a paraplegic aspiring warrior with his mind is super strong. His heart, he's Naruto. Essentially, this is a character who refuses to give up no matter what's thrown at him, no matter what obstacles are in his way. He refuses to give up. Right. And when he's meeting the dragon here, that's Leviathan, and Leviathan is one of the ancient beast gods. Right. And we're going to find out Go has a very special relationship with the beast gods. I'm really excited to see how that gets introduced. And it's also, with great power comes great responsibility, yin and yang. There's always a consequence to what you're given. So all of the main characters that we meet here they're going to have these really cool special powers, but they're also going to have really hardcore flaws that counterbalance those. Right. And I think
this little guy is absolutely Go is absolutely my boy in the book. I mean, and not to play off it or be weird or something, but what I've experienced in the last 2 years of my life, when I first got Rich's pitch for this, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And it gets to this little guy, and I'm like, and my response wasn't excitement. It was, dude, if we're doing this, we're gonna do this right.
Yep.
Because I relate to this little guy so damn much right now. And I'm like, yeah, this little guy is gonna be tough as nails.
Yep. And I love it. I love the way you've characterized him in the art. And you know, we can't show it right now, but I've also seen the kind of young adult versions of Go, and it's really cool the way you can see how this character grew. Les did a really good job of planting the seeds as a child to what he's going to grow up to be. And yeah, I can't speak enough about how much I love this page, and I love this. I love all the characters that Les has drawn, but this one, it really stands out. You can really see Les's passion for the character come through here, and yeah, I can't wait to introduce you guys to this entire book. This is I think is an amazing thing. We're taking it to Kickstarter in March or April of this year. We're kind of figuring out the dates, but the book's done. Okay. You know, we're sending it off to letters. So when you back our campaign for Angel Hunter, you know the book is getting made. It's already done. Right. We're basically the Kickstarter is to pay less for his art, and you know, actually pay me as a writer. You know, it's nice to get a paycheck for, you know, you work really hard creating these worlds and these characters, and you're the last one to get paid. So we're just kind of skipping that. We're skipping that this time. We're going straight to Kickstarter, and Les is going to get his money, and I'm going to get my money for once.
And part of that's going to be from me.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, and Jordan will probably support about half of the Kickstarter.
Oh, definitely. I can already see Jordan going, let's see, how much where do I get this money from?
Jordan,
I've already done it
this year. So
you what?
You're gonna get sick of me this year, Jordan. I
already read the newsletter, man. I read the newsletter. I read Dirk's newsletter.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh, I'm gonna stay on task, but
no, yeah.
All I'm going to say about that is one word: ribbit.
Mm. Yep.
Damn. Now I'm curious. I'm going to have to write a frog into Angel Hunter, Les.
Just don't write any more damn horses. I've had people for 2 months now, like, ribbing me about what I said publicly about drawing horses. I'm closer to 600 pages now than I am 500 in the last 2 years, and I swear to God, every damn book I've drawn, and I've drawn a pile of books in the last 2 years, and every single one has not just one horse. No, every one of them has scenes with multiple flipping horses in it. And I'm just like, seriously? Is it because I'm from Kentucky? You're like, oh, he's from Kentucky. He can draw all the horses.
Wait till you see what I've written for volume 2.
Uh-oh.
If it's horses,
more horses.
The freaking Komodo dragon.
It's the horse god.
I'm like, nope, they're all Komodo dragons. Screw the horses. I'm done with them. It's going to be Komodo dragons and bears. It's manga.
Did you
buy it?
Actually, they probably would buy it.
That would actually be super cool. You know, I would enjoy that.
You know,
I have no horses in any of my books. Horses stuff.
Yeah. I got a few things I'm going to be doing with these folks, and yeah. He messaged me the other day. He's like, "Hey man, there's no horses in my books." I'm like, oh. Nice. I'm like, I'm just ready to make glue.
Dude, this looks fantastic. I was hoping you were gonna say like the Kickstarter's right around the corner, and you did, which is what I was hoping for you to say, because I was looking at all this and going, nah, this is probably for like the end of the year. So I was hoping you would say April or May or or something like that instead of down in the fall, Ralph. I'm like, uh-oh.
There is another Kickstarter that launches in April. So I don't think we'll be in April. I'm thinking we'll either be in March to April,
right,
or from like the end of April into or like beginning or through May,
which is still sooner than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
There's another Kickstarter that I've got going that's going to kick off. It's like hard set to kick off the first week of April for my H.P. Lovecraft Tarot project.
So
which is that's a whole other beast I won't get into, but we'd love to talk about that sometime. But
yeah,
you're definitely
we have a hard date set for the launch of Angel Hunter soon. It's just a matter of like deciding like before or after, which way are we going to put this? So we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, I learned. Les and I both, we learned a lot from the Kickstarter for Reign of Dracula. And the best thing, the most important thing I think you can learn is what you did wrong. It's, Michael Jordan who said, I learned more from every shot I ever missed than any shot I ever hit. So we learned quite a bit. And so one of the things I wanted to do, and Les was wanting to do with this, is we wanted to lay the groundwork, get out there, promote the Kickstarter well in advance.
Right.
And then we wanted to have the product finished. We wanted to have the book done, which that's really difficult to do as a writer creator, because it's expensive to produce a comic book. I mean, you're looking all in, they're going to cost you around $200 a page. And, looking at a 96 page book, that's over 18 grand right there. So one of the things I was very happy with Les is, and this is the first time I've ever done that because I'm very, very protective over my IPs.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a co-creation between Les and I. This belongs to the both of us, and we're both working we're working our asses off to tell this amazing story, and working very well together. So, but again, it's very important to have the book ready to go by the time the Kickstarter launches. We may actually already have it printed and back by the time the Kickstarter launches. So this is a book that
you're talking language here that Kickstarter supporters like to hear. They want to.
Oh, good.
They want to hear that. Here's my money. Oh, at the end of the campaign, there's your book.
Yep. Exactly. Fulfilling quickly is definitely a key.
Right.
It's just it's really hard to do that because you've got to have such advanced capital in order to do that, because artists, they don't work for free.
No.
And so I really love work. Les and I, we have a kind of a brother's relationship. We get ridiculously pissed off at each other, but we also love each other and love working together.
My left arm works good enough for me to give you nuggies next time I see you. So
that's the goal, man. That's your goal. Come on.
At MegaCon. I'll take a noogie at MegaCon.
I still need to get him up here to Ohio.
Most definitely.
Jordan, you are in Ohio, aren't you? What part of Ohio, man?
Northwest.
I lived in Cincinnati for 18 years. So.
Yeah, I'm in the part that's away from the snowstorm.
Yeah, it's funny too, man. The part of Kentucky that is really my home, where I grew up out in Appalachia. Man, they got snow dumped all over them, and everybody's freaking out. And I'm out here in Western Kentucky, and we literally have nothing. I was in Carbondale, Illinois, an hour north yesterday, and they had snow everywhere. And it was like drive. Oh, look, there's the snow. Drive, and it's gone. I'm like, wow.
That's funny. That sounds like New York City.
Kentucky really is.
We got a dusting.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the dusting. I don't like snow.
we got snow Christmas Eve. We got snow this week, but not bad though. Just a few inches. Yeah.
I would actually like a little bit of snow, just because if it's colder than 32 degrees, Actually, if it's colder than 40 degrees and I don't see snow, then I'm like, something ain't right. Exactly. But if I see snow, I mentally can handle the cold.
Well, let me say this. I think it's nice for a few minutes, then you're like, oh no, then I have to go clean it up now.
Well, I mean, I'm fortunate.
That's me being PG. That's me being PG when I say that.
I'm fortunate enough that my workplace is like I walk out the back door of my house and then I walk into my studio.
Nice.
And I have like all this beautiful acreage out here. That's just, I mean, it's gorgeous. I'm very blessed by where I live. I've got like 10 and a half acres that adjoins another 105.
Nice.
And it's just beautiful. And when there's a little bit of snow on, there's a little Viking inside me that's like, yeah, you know, it's like bring forth the permafrost.
Here in New York, the snow is nice, but it's like in the city when it lingers, it starts turning black.
I lived up there. I lived
snow.
for a time up in eastern Connecticut, working construction in Connecticut, Jersey, and New York.
Oh, so that's the good snow over there.
Oh yeah.
First
you
winter,
you got to worry about the ice.
5 feet of it.
Indy's saying, why in God's name would you go to print without knowing how much you need to print? Do you like wasting money?
No. So unlike a lot of people out there, I'm actually confident in my work. And I know it's going to sell. My books always do. And beyond Kickstarter, we're not stopping there. The books will be available in comic book stores through distribution after the Kickstarter. So later this year, we'll be releasing it. And, Les and I, we don't have a problem selling our stuff. So, we go to cons, we're going to sell it, and I'm willing to make a long-term investment in myself. And Les is willing to go along with that as well. And then also, this is a lesson that a lot of people doing small print runs might want to pay attention to. The more you print, the cheaper it is per unit, and the cheaper it is per unit, the more money you make when you sell it.
Yep.
So yeah, it's an investment, but we knew that going in. I knew that going in. I set aside the capital to do that. And the way I was able to set aside that capital was because Les was willing to do this as a co-creator. And so that working relationship where we both benefit, we both put the risk into this, that freed up the capital to be able to do a large print run, which will get our unit costs down. And for you guys out there that are reading it, that means it'll be less expensive for you. I think our target goal on this is for each volume of Angel Hunter, like I said, 96 pages plus for each one. The target goal is to get those to where we can sell them for $9.99. Kind of going the image model, and also a traditional manga model. Mangas usually cost about exactly. As a comic,
I can pull $10 out of my pocket.
Yeah, exactly. A $10 graphic novel, owning a store as long as I have, the easiest thing in the world for me to sell are those $9.99 Image Volume 1 graphic novels. You put them in people's hands, they don't give them back. So that's going to be our target. And in order to be able to hit that target, we have to make an investment in a large print run. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
But I was going to say, like, your bigger goal isn't just this Kickstarter. Your bigger goal is what you're saying is get it into stores, get it into. So if you're looking at that kind of a goal, then a bigger printing makes way more sense.
Absolutely. And yeah, the scope of this, again, Angel Hunter is by far the most ambitious thing I've ever written or even tried to write. But this is a story that Les and I see, going 10 volumes. And we're talking about 960 pages of a comic book. We see other opportunities for it. We have it in our mind to present this as a potential anime, and having it evolve beyond just a book on Kickstarter.
Right.
You know, we want it to be in comic book stores. We want it to be with all my other books, wherever Simon and Schuster books are sold. You know, we want it on those shelves,
Right.
and so we're willing to make the investment in it.
Because of the size of the book, it also gets you into bookstores.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be able to market it that way
too. Which is the market.
There is one personal thing that I'm hoping we can pull off, and it's gonna probably sound weird to folks, but for this and a lot of other books that I have coming, I'm really hoping to bring back a focus on good black and white artwork and see it printed on newsprint.
Oh god,
dude,
I want that so bad. I want our book to be newsprint so bad.
I mean, I want like a nice cover, square bound, but newsprint inside.
I miss newsprint. I understand why the it's gone the other direction, because it's a more of a collector's thing, but I feel like you're missing out, because then you can't sell it to kids for the cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
you know,
the more.
Go ahead, Les.
I personally, even on color books, I have been kind of fed up with slick, glossy pages for 20 some years, because as the artist, I have to if I want to read that book and it's got slick, glossy pages, I have to find a place where I can sit and the light hits it just right, so I can actually see it instead of having glare over the artwork.
Glare.
Yep. I can't remember the last book it was. There's been a couple of books I picked up over the last few years that they managed to print on non-glossy paper, and it looks so much better. That's just a personal thing. But with this,
and for collectors, printing it in newsprint, ironically, is the thing that will make the books worth more money. And it's why modern books are very difficult to hold their value, because they're all perfect. They're all, look at how many 9.8s and 9.9s and 10.0s there are graded out there. So, I mean, it's simple supply and demand. If there's 10 million 9.8s out there, they're not going to be worth anything. But,
what was funny for me when it comes to comics, I draw comics. I love comics. I have absolutely zero clue. I still don't understand CGC and grading and all that. I have no clue. I'm like, dude, buy comics. They're cool. They look cool. Read them. I'm like, and that's
comics.
That's literally all I'm out for with any of my books. I just want to make a good comic book.
Yeah.
Whether it's a manga, an American manga, or horror, like a horror comic, like a lot of the stuff that I do. That's mostly what I do. I just want to make a good damn book. I want to make a good comic, a good graphic novel that you actually read.
Andrew says this is proper ink.
Yeah,
it looks good. And hello, everyone.
And we are releasing it that way too. It's going to be that black and white manga style.
I gotta say, it
how
looks really nice. Indy seems to be arguing with you though. He goes, "Yeah, but let's say it's a hit, and you need to order more. You're giving up your discount when you're forced to reorder."
Just put at that point, if it's that successful, then you put in another large print run.
Exactly.
I think I don't think I've ever printed a book that had less than a 5,000 issue print run or a unit print run. So of course, I haven't done the printing on that. It's all been publishers before. But yeah, we'll be I'd say we'll probably be doing around a 2,500 to 5,000 print run of Angel Hunter.
He's also saying if it's a flop, you're flushing capital down the toilet.
Sure, but that's no different than flushing $24K down the toilet to pay an artist and never getting paid for it. It's an investment. And you have to be willing. You have to be willing to invest in your product because if you don't believe in it, nobody else is going to. And, if I wasn't comfortable with my level of exposure, my level of risk, then I wouldn't do it. Because I do come from a business background. I do have a degree in business. So I've also owned businesses for a long time. So I'm very comfortable with understanding my capital investments, my exposures. Considering all of that, I believe in Angel Hunter, and I'm more than comfortable committing
you're also,
to a large
as long as we've known you, the one thing I've realized about you is that you are an adamant salesman. You're going to sell your stuff, whether you have to do it in person, on the phone, and that's why you sell stuff, is because you are out there making it happen.
That's actually one of the reasons that I ever agreed to work with him to begin with. Was because I met him in person. I had done a variant cover from one of his books, and I ended up meeting him. Rich is actually a big part of why I live where I live now, because he was doing a small convention in Paducah, Kentucky, that was a benefit for the city of Mayfield that got over half the town got wiped out by a tornado in 2020. And they had an open spot, and he was like, "You guys should invite Les." And come to find out, I was the only person, the only talent at the show who was actually from Kentucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a series of events came out of that led to me moving 5 hours across the state to come here. So, but at that show, Rich, I was like, this guy could probably sell ice to Eskimos. So I'm like, and
it's a hustle, man.
So it's a thing. Like, he's worked a show or two with me, and I try not to be an artist who sits there like a bump on a log. I'm going to talk to people, and like whether I've got commissions or not, I'm probably going to burn through most of a sketchbook during the show. Thank you, Mindy. Yeah. But I'm going to burn through most of a sketchbook at a show, and I'm going to talk to people, and because that's what it's for. And considering that I pretty much live and work in a little bunker here in Southwest Kentucky, that means I don't see people very often. So when I go to a show, hey man, it's cool. But we get out there and we work it, we sell. That's what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have major corporate backing, then you have to present. Hey, here's a thing. I think you might like it.
Exactly. It's the hustle, man. It really is. You gotta, it's that face-to-face interaction. When I was doing Cult of Dracula, I had to, I actually called comic book stores myself, and I hired people to call comic book stores, and to sell, not only to just sell the book, but to get to know the stores and the owners, to find out what they're doing, how they're doing after COVID, build a relationship with them, and actually care. And, that's why I have a lot of devoted retailers who carry anything that I write. So that's a good feeling, but I wouldn't have that if I wasn't out there hustling, if I wasn't out there making those calls, introducing myself to people. And Les and I share that hustle. When we're together at a show, we both do very well. So we, putting us together, it's in a lot of ways, it's a very strong partnership.
And that's the way it should be, because it comes from both sides. Because I've seen projects where only one person's trying to sell the book, and I'm like, this is a team effort. Why is only one person trying to sell the book?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't work unless you've got both people passionate about what you're doing and believing in the book. And if just thinking like going back to I don't know who it was, the gentleman who was asking about why do a large print run, and something I've learned throughout my entire life as a business person is if you're going into something and you're already hedging your bets against failure, you've probably already failed. So, I don't go into it. I go into it with an understanding of my risk and exposure, but I don't let that risk and exposure intimidate me. Because I know what my tolerance is. I know what my budget is, and I'm not going to go over that. So I am fully prepared to lose 100% of what I'm putting in to print the books. If that happens, that happens, but I'm betting that it won't.
That's just business.
It is, don't bet more than you're willing to lose. And every penny that you put into an investment, you are putting out there as exposed risk. There is a chance you're going to lose it. And if you're not comfortable with that, then don't do it.
The way that I look at it is like, I could take money that I invest in like one of my projects that I put out some way, or any of the number of things that I have investment in. Like I do not have investments in anything that is not directly has my hands in it. Like there's all kinds of things that I'm involved in, and I am probably one of, if not the chief producers of said, product, whatever it is. And so my thinking is like, if you compare that to, say, putting your money in stocks, in the stock market,
right?
I have a much greater trust in the likelihood of success for putting investment into something that my own hands are in, rather than elsewhere. I think that's if I invest in if I invest in machines, I know I'm going to use them. If I invest in books,
right,
I know I'm going to go sell them. Like I just, one way or another, I'm going to recoup that. And I think Rich kind of looks at it sort of the same way.
I was about to say the same thing.
Absolutely.
Because you guys are doing it, that means you're in charge of it, which means you guys are going to keep trying to sell it. Unlike some other company that would do it for you, and then they might sell some stuff for you.
Yes.
Right.
That is very much a thing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
In the end, you have to have that drive. You have to have that drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely do. You have to have the drive. You have to have the courage, the fortitude, because it's not easy. It's terrifying sometimes. When I looked at what I was, the amount of money I was shelling out for Prometheus and Chains, it terrified me when I looked at the number. But I also believed in the book, and it was worth it. And I know in the long term, I'm going to recoup my investment. As a writer, you shouldn't really plan to recoup anything on your investment for a couple of years, because it's really not until it goes to trade that you start making the money.
Yeah.
And as many units as Cult of Dracula sold, it was the movie option money that really made it profitable. Because what I made on the actual sales of the comic, it was good money. It was around 30-40 grand, but where I made the real money was in the movie option. And so that's kind of what that's another angle that we're looking at with Angel Hunter. The story that we're telling is designed so that it could easily be adapted into an anime. So Les and I are looking at various long-term revenue streams to go along with it. And I don't know how I ended up putting my business hat on instead of talking creatively, but hey, it's fun.
Dude, that's what happens on the show.
I know, it just go everywhere.
Have many hats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blake, I was gonna say, because you're on the creative side of this as well. You're doing your own thing here. You're actually you're going in the same direction as Rich and Les. You're trying to get this whole thing done, but you can't. You came across this from a whole different direction, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it started out as an animation with what I'm working on, Felandra Heroine of Darkness, and when the writer's strike hit, because I'm a writer, director, also voice actor. And what happened was during the writer's strike, it's a freeze, and out of respect for your colleagues and the industry and everything else. So I was fortunate where a lot of comic friends of mine said, well, you have a lot of material. Like, for example, the script for Felandra, as Ralph knows, as Tony knows, and many other people, we've been anticipating this last year. The script for the animated series has been winning accolades across the country for the last year and a half.
Nice.
Thank you. It's won at Burbank. It's won at the Burbank International Film Festival, Best Screenplay. It won at the Los Angeles Animation Festival. It was a finalist at the Manhattan Film Festival this year. It's been a semifinalist at the Flickers Rhode Island. It was nominated at the Urban Action Showcase in Manhattan. Among other things.
Hey,
yeah, there we go. It's at Vail. It was semifinalist there. So just fortunate that it's been very well received within the industry in animation and filmmaking, and that's basically my background. And with Felandra, you see we have a very cinematic feel to it because that's my background. So because a lot of people have said that to me, where, oh gee, this actually looks like a movie, it looks like a TV show. Well, that's why, because that's the vision that I had for it. In a nutshell, like Rich and Les were saying about treating it like an IP, and that's pretty much what Felandra is being treated as well. So, and I'm very grateful for everybody who's embraced it and have showed so much love and support for this. To give you a nutshell for the gentlemen who are with me that don't know about it, the elevator pitch is basically, it's about a female named Adriana Woods. It's we were there. I didn't get a chance to go there because I had a medical emergency family issue, but we were an official selection this last month. And the elevator pitch, it's about a female named Adriana Woods who is a journeyman mechanic in training. She has to deal with that's by day. By night, she is a vigilante called Felandra, who has to deal with the loss of her mother as well as the rise of crime in a futuristic cyberpunk future set 70 years. It's got elements of magic as well as tech and theme of sisterhood and extended family. Like I said, I did 2 Comic-Con appearances this year, and Ralph can vouch for this. If I didn't have 100 people take pictures by the banner, I had none.
Nice.
So, and Ralph always sees that. So, and I'm very grateful for Ralph and Tony and so many others that have been. Oh yeah, Keith Williams. He's a outstanding person and a friend. The legendary Keith Williams. He's actually doing the cover for issue 1. If you're not familiar with Keith, he is he's worked on so many books in the industry. He's a 40-year comic veteran.
That guy you just had up there, Chris Mad.
Yeah, Chris Mad. He's an awesome dude. I love Chris. He's very supportive. What's that
about Chris?
Yeah,
I left Owensville, Kentucky in 1993.
Okay.
And moved to just outside of New York. Spent a lot of time in New York. He left the New York, New Jersey. He left the same area that I went to and moved to Owensville, Kentucky.
So it came full circle.
He and I bumped into each other at C2E2 this past year.
Nice.
And I mean, we'd never met before. I just saw his work. I was like, that was pretty cool. He saw some of my work out. That was pretty cool. We started talking, and there was a question he had about something, a story of mine, and I related it to where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, I come from kind of out in the middle of nowhere in a tiny little podunk town in southeast Kentucky called Owensville. And his jaw drops, and he's like, no shit. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, I live there. I was like, what? I was like, okay. Riddle me this. Which side of Owensville Hill is the worst one to drive down? And he answered correctly. And I was like, okay, yeah, you pass. You definitely live there. This is cool. So yeah, anyway, I just saw him and I was just like, man, I have to interject because that's
no, Chris is great. I saw him at that was at New York Comic Con, and he's always really cool. And like I said, it's just so many great artists and writers, and everybody's been very welcoming to me because, like I said, I've been in the comic industry, the comic space for less than a year. But like I said, my background after I came back from a hiatus was always film, television, now animation. I'm working also on another pilot that I can't talk about right now, but that was another one that I was working on. But yeah, like the book is being, it's actually, like I said, I can confidently say to you, the art is done on issue 1. We're done.
Nice.
That's a good friend Eli Ramos. He's the main artist on the book. He's also firefighter in Jersey City. He was firefighter of the year in 2023. I'm very proud of him. Talented artist. That was one of the conventions I was at. Rose, Candace at RetroCon in PA. Also some other people at Townsend Coleman, a friend. Also Frank Wojo, great toy guy. He works with Mego Toys. Shout out to him. So many great people at the RetroCon. That's one of the conventions that I'll probably be back this year. And that was like we did promotion. So and I gave Ralph some new panels from the comic. I don't know if you have them handy, Ralph. I can. Let's see. Like it was, I put you in the messenger, I believe. We can unveil that one character if you like. I was going to unveil it on Friday, but I wanted to give you that exclusive.
I keep talking. I'll keep looking.
Yeah, it's well, the one character, the redhead, is one of the villains. She's Screwfly. She's an Irish badass who's an assassin for hire. She's got a flamethrower. So one of the themes is, like I was saying earlier, is tech. And so, for example, you have artificial limbs, and people say they lose a limb and they can get an artificial limb. Excuse me. And what happens?
I already passed by her.
Yeah, there are issues. Yeah. So that's one of the new panels from the book, issue 1. And she's one of a couple other villains. But yeah, what happens is, in her case, when you see people that have the artificial limbs, they can replace a limb. For her, it's more like a drug, and she wants more and more power. And there's a lot more backstory to her that you'll find out throughout the series, whether it's animation or comic, probably both. Like right now, what I would like to do with Felandra is, like I said, I'm very grateful for the audience that we have anticipation for this book. The target audience is teens to young adults, secondary audience 20 to 30s, and then one audience that I'm very grateful for, and I say this every time, and I sound like a broken record because that's how grateful I am, and is the female demographic across the board. Ralph can vouch for that. He's probably, he's seen that a lot with a lot of women that are looking forward to this book. And, but yeah, she's, Screwfly is one of many villains in the universe, and I introduce basically book 1 is a introduction to the universe of a 3-book story arc, which is also the pilot for the animated series and adaptation, which is the multi-award winning screenplay. In actuality, as far as the animated series, I have a full season already written and copyrighted,
Nice.
as well as as well as six seasons of notes.
Wow.
So I don't play. So like I said, as far as the comic, the first 4 issues are already written. And what I'm evaluating now is whether we're going to self-publish, maybe through Kickstarter, or go and submit to a publisher.
Because was this all done in the time span of a year? Is what I'm understanding.
What the whole writing is that what you're asking, Tony? Or
yes, yeah.
Well, I started it during COVID. I actually wrote multiple projects, but this is the one that I pulled the trigger on.
But still a lot of but that's still a lot of material for starting during COVID. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, no doubt.
And among other projects too. Like I have other things in the chamber, as well as other venues that I do too. Like I'm business partners with my father, for example, and I come from construction and also property management, and that's one of my other many hats too. So like us all, we're all wearing many hats here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So and like I said, I have my background on creatively is I'm a directing, writing, voice actor background. So like again with the story with Felandra, if you notice in her armor behind me, she's also trained in the form of Sikh martial arts, which originates from Kung Fu. And here, there we go. And what happens is it's elements of Kung Fu as well as with stick fighting. So there's a lot of layers to the characters. It's an ensemble cast. I have with it potentially there could be multiple spinoffs, multiple ways going with. It's just this whole built universe, and I'm just really excited and very grateful for how it's been embraced, and the book hasn't even come out yet.
Yeah, you've been working your ass off. Talk about hustle.
Thank you.
That's why as soon as I was like Rich Hustle, Blake Hustle, dude. But it's so funny to me because I've seen some creators out there. I know you guys have seen it too, where they and Les mentioned it a little bit, where they'll just sit there at their table at a con and expect people to come to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, even the same thing. Like I've done cons too, and even Ralph. I remember when I was at one of the cons. I forget which one it was, but Ralph was looking for me, and I wasn't at my table because I was walking around hustling.
Exactly.
I got to stop doing that. I actually got to sit and
I don't know, man.
people because like I said, it's because of being an entertainment background. I'm constantly talking to people and going around and hustling and just seeing how people are in general. Like, hey, how are you? Or my name is so and so. So, but I remember Eli because I did a couple of cons with him, my lead artist. And he was saying, "Oh yeah, people were looking for you because they wanted to talk to you about the book and what are the other things." So he'll be back, and so I get answers.
I'd say as long as you got somebody at the table taking care of the table, you roam, good boy. You roam. You be like Tony. You roam.
Network.
Oh yeah, that's like one of my friends said to me. She said to me, like, my superpower is I can talk to a cactus. So.
Here's a good question from them.
I mean, there are professionals like that at cons that they're never at their table.
Oh, never,
like,
never
exactly.
He'll be back. We go have 10 minutes. Oh, he's around. He'll be back.
Yeah, exactly. What's
you're in good company.
A question for Blake: does your voice acting background help you when you're writing dialogue? Oh, that's a really good question.
Yes and no. Like, again, you have to sit there and say, okay, well, we have to have a conversation, okay, and you have to make it sound real and organic. I think also it's, you have to be able to speak and speak well and be able to get your point across and make it sound natural. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, but it's funny to me because there'll be times where somebody reads something that I write and they go, "This would never happen." I'm like, "This is word for word what happened."
Yeah, exactly. Well,
the truth is stranger than fiction.
Even the same thing as with writing characters, and I'm sure Rich can relate to this, and as well as many other creatives. You can have the most outlandish characters, okay, but you have to bring it back to square one where people can relate to them and make them human and make them organic. Mm-hmm. Okay, if people can't relate to your characters, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like I had this conversation with gentleman Tom. He was a letterer at New York Comic Con. I met him. He's a wonderful man. We were talking about Superman, and he said to me, and I agreed with him because he was talking about Felandra, and Felandra has a blue collar background, as well as her way does, as well as her endeavors in Vigilante. But same thing, he compared it to Clark Kent with Superman. Like he's this intergalactic battles and all these other things. But then, hey, he has a 9-to-5 job. He's trying to make a living, and or we can even go with Spider-Man. Hey, gee, he's a college student or a high school student, or he's trying
whatever
to
he is at
be a photographer at the at the local paper. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was going back to, saying, well,
it kind of brings you down and humanizes them. Yeah,
exactly right. So these people have faults. There are frustrations as well as different other elements, like even with Adriana. She is trying to learn her craft, trying to deal with all her issues, as well as being able to cope with them because she has a strong support system within her surrogate fathers, within her sister, surrogate sister, and stuff like that. So people were saying, oh, well, there's so much tragedy with this character. But the thing is, she handles it in a way because she has that support system. Like, let's be real. We all deal with tragedy, but we can deal with it in a different way.
Yeah.
So, it's not all doom and gloom 24 hours a day with people, because they can handle grief in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the trick. When you make a character, if people care about them and people can relate to them, you can do from there. You can do anything. I mean, it's lost a little bit. I see a lot of characters and things coming out now where they're perfect in every single way. Everyone loves them, and everyone comes out, "Hey, you're great," and this and that. Like, congratulations, you created a boring character. I mean, you gotta. I see it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, it looks thing, but there's no depth to it. So and even with Felandra and a lot of other things, like, there's not just Adriana that's interesting. You got a million other characters too, and even Ralph. Well, I say this to Ralph all the time. I go, I'm still holding back a lot.
That's what we do as writers. We hold back a lot.
Yeah. Like, as things go, we peel the onion and to unveil some more stuff. Like even the same thing. Screwfly is the first villain that's been unveiled, and there's like 5 other villains that are in issue 1 that are introduced.
I gotta say, as a creator, the hardest thing in the world, because I know Rich is dealing with it too at the moment. Because I know Rich wants to be like, I want to tell you everything, but at the same time, you're like, I can't tell you everything.
Right? You're like, oh, I can't get, but it's just like there's so much you want to say, and I really like what we're talking about here with the peeling of the onion and developing the layers of the character, and making them relatable. It's not an easy job to do, and making characters you want to kind of hang out with, know. And I think that may be something that frustrates Les about me a lot, because the characters, they're basically real in my mind. I have conversations with them, and so Les is like, so what's going to happen with this character? I'm like, I don't know. He hasn't told me yet.
I mean, between comics and animation, I'm very brass tacks. I'm like, what's on this page? What am I doing? What's the event here? What's the moment? So I feel like, my job as an artist is oftentimes to take, like, when the writer is dreaming this world and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, yeah, but I'm the guy that's got to make it concrete. So yeah, that's cool. Where are we going? Exactly. Here. And it's like, I got to distill it down. Now, as a writer myself, I absolutely understand all that stuff. But when the artist hat goes on,
you need to know.
When it's the artist hat, it's like, yeah, what's up. I get it, but I got to make a tangible thing out of this. And
absolutely.
That's
that's the thing that writers, because we're all writers here. That's what we're always fighting about, is the fact that, how do I get this done at the same time, do what needs to be done, because, it's a juggling act.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny, I think something that I've suggested to a lot of young artists I've talked to through the years is go take an acting class.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say, what's helped me out a lot is D&D, especially when you're role playing your characters, because then you start to understand how these characters work more than you would if you stay stuck in your head.
Well, even the same thing with acting classes. Like I'll put my directing hat on for a minute. The thing is, sometimes you always get this conversation where people go, well, you have to be this person to play this character. And that might be a controversial statement to some, but I apologize in advance. But that's the point of acting, is being something you're not, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have to get in the head of the character, and like we were talking about the layers, how would this character react to different situations, and how is it instituted in the story? And how would you present that character, and how would they react to that character in certain scenarios? You know what I mean? And even with acting, there's, if it's a screen actor, if it's a voice actor, there's different ways of looking at that too. A stage actor, like for example, if you're on screen, you could show emotion and just the turn of your face or the eye movement or something like that. Now, if you're on stage, you got to be more animated, and you got to hit that actor, that audience all the way back in the back row to get that response. So there's a different way of approaching acting, and there's just many layers in that way too. Or with voice acting.
Say that because it's the same thing with voice acting.
Yeah.
If you guys watch me, I do a lot of this stuff, even when we're doing the interviews here, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to convey or bring out whatever emotion needs to bring out, or the excitement, or and it's funny because if you watch voice actors when they're off, when they're being filmed, when they're doing their thing, it's this whole animated thing. They're as animated as their projects.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right, because you're basically acting, and you have to show that in the performance with your voice. So it's not just like the thing that people say all the time is, well, I have a funny voice. Well, no, that's nice, but that's not a character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference, even the same thing. I'm not poo-pooing on that, but that's like saying, hey, there's a difference between somebody that's an impressionist and somebody that's creating a character.
That comes out completely in D&D, because when you're the DM, you start to embody this character, this evil character who's coming into the room, and he's making you feel
very low, and who wants to look at you like this, and
see, we all understand exactly. Yeah.
Or you just go and maybe like a little bit of a glimpse. Hello there, Ralph. How are you today? What does your insides look like?
I do those evil characters.
A little bit of
well.
Hannibal Lecter there.
Yeah, I do those
Oh,
evil
hold on,
characters well, but I like the characters that are up here. They're mad scientists. They're crazy because it kind of showcases me.
Yes, exactly. What's the question on the bottom there? I'm not.
So the question is, Blake, what was your biggest inspiration as a kid? What books did you read? That's a great question.
Oh, I have a lot of inspirations I pull from just different things. Well, even with like Felandra, if you look at the style that was instituted with it, it's a 90s aesthetic of animation.
Yeah, it is.
That's on purpose. So like things like, I don't know, like Batman the Animated Series, Animaniacs, X-Men, just that aesthetic. That was the inspiration as far as how it looks different, that 90s animation aesthetic. And that's just a couple examples. As far as books, I read a lot when I was a kid. I love R.L. Stine, Goosebumps. I've actually met Tim Jacopis. He's I could say he's a friend. It's very, he's a very nice guy. Shout out to him. He does, for people that aren't familiar with that, he did the covers for like the original books as well as Goosebumps 2000.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he's a really, really cool guy, and I always have a good conversation with him every time I see him. But Goosebumps, Batman comics, Ninja Turtles. I get a lot of influence from like film too, obviously. Like some of my favorite films are, let's see, RoboCop, The Crow. Let's see, animation.
I'm starting to build a feeling here.
Yes. But there's a lot of things.
The original RoboCop and the original Crow, right? Not the
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah. I like the original RoboCop, but I also like, I like RoboCop, different versions of it, like the sequels and stuff. But nothing beats the original.
Yeah.
Okay? But I do enjoy RoboCop 2 and RoboCop 3.
I love RoboCop 2, yeah.
Behave yourselves! We got RoboCop and RoboCop 2 fighting each other, and the old man gets
Which is the one with the little kid gangster? Which is the one with the little kid gangster? Was that part 2 or part 3? I love that.
What was that, Tony? I didn't hear you.
The movie that had there was a little kid that was a gangster. Was that right?
Yeah, that was great. I love that. I
awesome.
love that scene in the movie. Okay, spoiler if anybody hasn't seen RoboCop 2, but it's been out. It's been out for it's been out over 30 years. Yeah, I love that scene, and this is this is just me as a storyteller too. When I try to implement this into Felandra, if you remember in RoboCop 2, that part when the kid dies in the van.
Yeah.
If you remember that is such a heartfelt scene, and all the bad things that this kid did in that movie, you sympathize with this character just before he's about to pass away.
That's
and
true.
RoboCop is going over, like, if would illustrate the scene, he's injured, he was shot, he's about to die. He goes, RoboCop sees him. He lowers his weapon. He goes, lie still. You're going to shock, yada, yada. And then he goes, I'll call you a medical unit. And then he goes, don't leave me. He goes, I won't leave you. And then and he's there to help.
One second, Blake. You got to get going. So why don't you tell the people?
I need to get going. I got to crash, guys.
I don't worry about
no worries.
Tell the people where they can find you and all the good stuff. That way, they can go look for you.
Quickest thing to do is just shove my name in pretty much any search engine. But
not kidding. That's how easy it was.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm not hard to find at all. 6s1.com. As a business, I am 6s1 Publishing and 6s1 Media. So, because of all the 3D and animation and just a bazillion different things. So you can look those things up. I would say go to Facebook is probably my most active place, which is really odd, but it is.
We were talking about that in the green room. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah,
I actually, my agent is really pushing hard for me to get active on TikTok and to up my Instagram game. So there's probably some things coming with that soon.
That's a lot of work, man. TikTok is a lot.
Yeah,
of work.
Well, that's why that's why I have an agent now. So and shout out to Derek. He'll probably see this because he tends to like watch any kind of media that I turn up in because it's kind of his job. But he's Derek Blaha from Malice Media. Good folks.
Nice.
So I'm going to be at. Let's see, Rich. I think we're going to be at MegaCon in February.
Correct.
Right? That is correct.
Yeah.
Florida, right? Yeah.
We're in
Orlando. Yeah.
Florida. With big focus on Angel Hunter. I think we'll have some other stuff there as well. Then I'll be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in April, first weekend of April. And that will be that weekend will be the launch of the Kickstarter for my tarot deck, which is a strange project. And I hope Rich doesn't get mad at me if I plug that for a second. It's just
go ahead.
That's what we do this
for about 10, maybe 15 years of my career. I made most of my living doing artwork and things that were from and related to Lovecraft properties. I am ridiculously steeped in Lovecraft. I love H.P. Lovecraft like you wouldn't believe. So along the way, I wrote a lot of stories and just tucked them away and created a character called Dr. Horace Van Meter, who is a complete bastard. I love him. He's evil. Somewhere along the way, about a year ago, like I didn't have enough to do already, the idea came to me to do a tarot deck based on Lovecraft and specifically inspired by my character, Dr. Horace Van Meter. So this thing is called Dr. Van Meter's Forbidden Cthulhic Tarot.
Whoa.
And the Kickstarter will go off for that. You can go to hplovecrafttarot.com and see all kinds of groovy stuff there. And I'll quit blathering about there. I can talk forever about that project because it's actually,
I like the title, man.
5 years.
It sounds like a tongue twister.
It's most Lovecraft stuff is if it's at all. So, Good Lord, man. Cthulhu.
Well, that's like the real Ghostbusters. If you remember that one episode with
the Collect Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu. Yeah.
Yep, the Collect Call of Cthulhu. That's probably that and Stephen King were probably the two things that. No, I take that back. What introduced me to Lovecraft was actually Steve Ditko.
Nice.
Oh, Ditko, loved it.
Well, that's funny. But hold that up again because there's a thing with what we're doing. That is a program that I've put together called the Eldritch Angels, and if you go and you get into the launch sign up, you have the opportunity to contribute $1 ahead of time, and everyone who contributes that $1 gets put into a list called the Eldritch Angels, and there's a special card added to the deck that only those people will get.
I like that.
Sign up free, but you go ahead and give us that $1. That $1 will be earmarked for helping us promote the project to make it a success on Kickstarter, and then that will, in turn, give all of those people back that special Eldritch Angel card. And the deck itself is really neat because I've completely rewritten the tarot, like about 90% rewritten the tarot. The suits are different than the normal tarot. It has extra cards. There's a thing in it where you can actually buy in to become part of the tarot.
Whoa.
And have yourself
wow.
in the style of artwork that I'm doing for the deck or that I've done for the deck is done. The deck is done. The coffee table book for it is done. The sculpting for the special boxes on one of the special editions, that's done. The collectibles that are available for it, it's all done by me.
Wow.
So
Nice.
artwork on the cards, card design, me and with the assistance of my partner on it, Charles DeMoissant. Charles is a great guy. He's actually kind of an expert in tarot and a print guy. So he's helped out with a bunch of that stuff. But all of the creative side of it, all of the art and all of the writing is all mine. So there's a coffee table book. There's the stories are incredibly deep, and it's just fun. Like, and there's like a premise to the entire thing that, and this is so stupid meta. I normally don't like meta crap, but I had to do. This was kind of cathartic for me because it struck me one day that it's like, what if the estate of Dr. Van Meter and his exploits reached out to an artist to have them create a tarot deck, create Dr. Van Meter's oracle as a form of containment spell to contain the forces that he's unleashed. And what if in the course of creating that, said artist was overwhelmed by these arcane forces and laid up in the hospital with, say, a stroke?
I love where you're going.
And what if said artist claws his way back from literal hell, and believe me, I was there, to finish this thing and complete the spell. But the spell can't be truly completed and the forces contained until a number of people have been added to the deck. And everyone who comes in that way will be added into a story that has room for that in the actual coffee table book. That's a special bonus. Everyone that gets added in will be involved in that. They will all have cards made of them. And it's not just a vanity card just for them. They will become part of the deluxe full deck.
Nice.
With meanings and divinations assigned to their character in the deck. So you literally become part of Lovecraft history.
I love that.
Oh, that's rad.
I really love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one other thing about it is that the entire thing, hopefully, I'm hoping that it is successful enough that its success will front load a project I hope next year that will be a pretty thick Lovecraft graphic novel based around the character of Samuel Clemens.
Nice. Nice.
Which, is Mark Twain.
So we're going to bring you back so you can talk about all that right before the Kickstarter starts. Go ahead, Les. Get out of here. Go get some rest.
All right, you guys.
Nice meeting you. We got to connect on social media, Les.
All right.
Good talking, bro. Later.
Yeah. But
and then there were 6.
Yes, and then there were 6. I pulled up a couple of those frames if you want to see them, Ralph. I don't know if there's a way you can screen share that or.
Oh yeah, you can screen share it. Go ahead.
How do you do that?
It says present. It should say present at the bottom of your screen.
Bottom of my screen. Oh, okay. Yep. Cool. And how do I get out of it? I just get
I can either take you out or you can take yourself out.
All right. Screen share. Show screen. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see. Open. What is this? Would like to record screen. Open. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm sorry, Ralph.
No, don't worry about it. As long as you're talking, we're good.
Yeah.
If somebody's listening to this, they're gonna be like, "Why is this so silent?"
Yeah. It says
right.
Open system preferences. Would like to record. What do I just hit? Open system preferences, I guess. Let's see. Hold on. General. I'm just trying to get it to open here. Hold on. I apologize, gentlemen.
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, no. Let's see.
We've had worse things happen.
Yeah.
My computer's died completely, and then they've taken over the show.
Mhm.
Yeah. How about if I just
After that,
why don't we try it one other way real quick? How do I just upload it to you or share it with you?
If you have a link, you can put it in the chat.
yeah.
Okay. How do we do that? Let's see.
You should have an option for chat and
The private chat.
paste.
Private chat. Okay. I got it there. Now what do I
You have the
do?
link. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I have the images pulled up. Like that's the thing. I was doing that. But let's see. I just wanted to share that with you because I know you were asking about it.
It should be simple. You go to present, right, and then it gives you options of what you can present, and then you should be able to pick what you want to present.
All right, hold on. Let's try again. Share slides in PDF. Let's try that. You have no slides. Okay. Add file from computer. Here we go. PDF. Upload file. Okay, here we go. Aha! Now we're making progress, sir. All right, let me just drag it to my. I'm sorry, guys. Let me just drag this to my. Let me just drag this to my desktop, so it makes it easier. Let's see. 1, 2.
If it's the stuff that you sent me, I can show it, but somebody can just send a text or a message, and stuff will happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The stuff I sent you. Yeah, that's what it is. But I'll just okay. Now I got it. All right. I just put it on my desktop. So yeah. Present, upload PDFs from computer. Let's try that now. Upload file. Here we go. It won't let me download them. Hold on. Why it won't let me download?
I don't think you need. Usually, you don't need to download anything. You just can show it off.
Yeah, I'm trying to upload it to you, and it says it's not highlighting it for some reason.
And it's weird.
I know it's being weird. Technical difficulties.
Please stand by. We're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, slides, PDFs. Why is this?
Did you see at the bottom where it says share screen?
Yeah, I was trying to do that. It wasn't allowing me to do that.
That's weird.
Don't show these tips again. Share screen. Entire screen. Okay. Entire screen. Let's see. Choose from See Me. This site will allow you Chrome tab. Entire screen. Share. Okay, here we go. Has lost permission to capture screen. To fix it, go to system preferences. That's what I'm saying. It's wait, hold on. Oh, we got something. What was that? Oh,
that was me.
All right.
This is me showing off what's in my chat.
Oh, okay. So I have those other ones that I'm trying to show you. That's why there we go. There we go. There's one. All right, never mind.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So the character that we're unveiling here is Lucas Daxter. I was gonna unveil it on Friday on my social media. He's basically the Adriana's one of her best friends and co-workers at the motocrossing garage. And that's what he helps her with during the day. At night, he actually helps her with her weapons and also gadgets and stuff like that. So if you look over there, it's one of the that's her Tomfa, which has a lot of different gadgets and cool things in it. And then this is another panel from the upcoming comic, which is one of the characters that we already unveiled, Pastor Reed, which is also one of her surrogate fathers. And that's another panel that I wanted to unveil. And then give you an idea of the stick fighting, where she's training with her other surrogate father, Straight Arrow, who's teaching her the form of Sikh martial arts that is close to his family, which I don't want to unveil right now, but to tease you and whet your appetite a little bit. So, and then one of the other popular panels that I unveiled is Cole, the two-tailed cat. He's a little mystical. Ralph likes that character, and so does a lot of other people. So thank you for that. And then Screwfly.
Yeah, he's going to be a hit.
Yeah, he is. He is. He already is a hit, and everybody always loves that character.
People and cats.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to see that one other slide. Do you have that one with Lucas? Oh wait, here's another one. Kiara and Adriana. One of the her like friend who's also she grew up with and also is a surrogate sister, and she's also kind of they communicate through earpiece. And there's a whole different thing with her. Here you go. And then the new character that's going to be unveiled, Lucas. So you get a better look at Lucas. So like I said, by day they work together. There's many other characters there, but this is the one that we wanted to unveil because I took a vote from a lot of people on social media. They wanted to see whether it was going to be a good guy or a bad guy, and they wanted a good guy. So that's where we're at.
I like your use of color.
Thank you. That's also the talent of Eli, and him and I discussed that we were going and different colors and different shades, and we wanted, like I said, wanted to give it that cinematic feel, but also be tribute to like the 90s animation in that way. So to give you an idea, so hopefully everybody is looking at it and likes the character that we just unveiled. So to whet your appetite a little bit without giving too much away. So I don't know. I see Tony smiling, so that's a good sign.
That's a balancing act, is trying to unveil without unveiling
too much.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I want to show more, and I'm sure, like I said, Rich is the same way. You want to show so much, and like I said, even in issue 1, there's 5 villains that are in there, and we've only
nice.
and I've only unveiled 1, so
it sounds like you've actually created something, and you're trying not to showcase too much of it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's just like I said, issue 1, as far as the like I said, we're in lettering now. I just brought brought aboard a very talented letterer. I mention it right now. It's Justin Birch, if you're familiar with his work. Very talented letterer. I'm looking forward to working with him.
A letterer can make or break your book.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing that I'm very grateful for is everybody that's worked on this book is very enthusiastic. Like I said, even with Keith and Eli, they're friends of mine. 2 other people that I want to keep, I don't want to announce yet. They're also friends of mine. They're working on the book as well. One is working on a variant cover, and then another one is a veteran who is a very legendary letterer and artist that's working on the logo. So
nice.
Updating that. But yeah, that's my website. I have to update that a little bit. But yeah, there's some other accolades that I'm very grateful that have bestowed upon Felandra that I have to put on there yet.
So Blake, now you need to tell people where they can find you so they can keep up with the information. Besides the fact that you'll probably be on the show again before you do it.
Well, every time now, Ralph, I'm gonna have when we unveil a new character, I have to come back on the
show. No problem with me. You can come back.
But yeah, no. The best way to find me is I'm on. You can follow me on Facebook. Blake Zawadzki. BlakeZawadzki, and also I'm on Instagram. Just type my name in. That's my Instagram. I don't have any fancy handles or anything like that. It's just my boring name. Yeah, this was that one over there is we were at the Urban Action Showcase this past year, and shout out to all those people over there, Molly and Demetrius and everybody over there. it's an awesome expo and also a film festival. Probably be back there this coming year once Felandra is out, and going to be back over there because they welcomed us back over there. So I'm very grateful to everybody that's been wonderful and welcoming, whether it's the conventions. Another one is the Garden State Comic Fest. I know, shout out to Dave and those people over there. I know they're doing a winter fest.
Are you doing winter
in
fest?
2 weeks?
Yeah,
We're gonna be there.
I will not be there,
I'll be there.
unfortunately,
Tony
but
will
I
be
know
there.
Ralph will be there. But I
Blake.
don't know. Should I tell him, Ralph, or should I wait until next show?
You can tease them. Go for it.
Okay. Well, I will be there in June.
There you go.
Right.
So I will.
And
I will
in
be there.
June, they have a whole new location. So
Yes.
this is going to be a whole new thing.
I will be there. And like I said, I'm very grateful for Dave and everybody over there as well. But I will be appearing there. That's a couple of my appearances this year. And one of them is going to be Garden State Comic Fest, the main show in June. So, but
That's
no, go ahead.
Blake.
What's that?
I said, there you have it, folks. That's where you can find Blake, get more information,
Yes.
pester him, bother him, and go, I want to know more.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're slowly leaking it out, and like I said, I can see like I said, Tony's licking his chops right now. But that's the business person, entertainer in me. Tease you as much.
So, Rich, why don't you tell the people
sir.
where they can find you and all the good stuff? Because we're gonna be like biting at you to find out more stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way to find information about Angel Hunter is just go to @AngelHunterComic. That's on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, soon to be TikTok, and fuck Twitter. So yeah, to find out, Angel Hunter Comic is for info on Angel Hunter. I'm just at Rich Davis on Facebook, Instagram, all that. And then if you want to focus on my other books, it's at World of Dracula on all the socials.
And folks, you should take a look at World of Dracula. Those books are beautiful.
Yes. May I just do another shout out real quick?
Go for it.
No.
I know. Well, besides finding me on Instagram and Facebook, and also BlakeZawadzki.com. Shout out to Keith Williams. You could find him up on Instagram. Same with Eli Ramos, Art of Eli, and also Justin Birch is Justin Birch Letters on Instagram, and there's also, like I said, I'm looking forward to announcing 2 other people that are working on issue 1 in the future. So
Nice.
So shout out to them, and just thank you to Ralph and everybody here at Bent and Apple TV for the opportunity, as always, and have a reason to come back and whet your appetite some more.
There you go. There's the Angel Hunter Facebook site. Thanks to Jordan. Of course, Jordan stays on top of all this stuff.
Yep.
Right. Most definitely.
Folks, what you need to do is win Jordan over, have him as a fan, and then you are set.
That for life, man.
Yeah. But thank you to everyone and everybody for their continued support as well.
Oh, Blake, like I said, as soon as you want to do something else, you can even come guest host and stuff. I've told you before.
Absolutely. I will be in my next appearance. Well, again, I don't know what convention I will be at, but I will be at the Annie Awards in California in February. So I will be there. Shout out to everybody over there. Great organization. I'm a proud professional member of that organization as well, ASIFA. So,
and Rich, you're going to be at MegaCon in Orlando, right?
Yeah, MegaCon will kick off my
tour?
my con.
Tour?
Con tour. That's a great way to put it.
I love it.
It's
con tour.
I think I'm doing 8 this year.
Whoa.
I know, which is actually a lighter load than usual. I know I'm doing MegaCon, maybe C2E2. Heroes Con, Dragon Con, San Diego, New York Comic Con.
Oh, nice. We have to connect at New York Comic Con.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'd love to. And there's a couple of Scarefest shows that I'm doing. I just don't have the dates on those just yet.
And then I tried pushing one on you in the private chat.
Yes, I see Monroe. Yeah, I'm going to get with Caroline and see if she can see what the schedule's like and maybe book me to go up there. I wouldn't mind coming to see you.
Yep. Come hang out with me and Jared.
Like, yes.
Hell yeah.
No.
We'll hang out, go get some drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, folks,
I'm
you guys
down.
got to check these guys out. They do great work, fantastic work. If you are not convinced by this 2-hour, because we went over ages ago, by this 2-hour episode, then you need to go and rewatch it again.
Well, there was another link for you there.
Oh, there's another link in here. Hold on.
Yeah.
What do we got here? It's this one. Hold on.
Probably. There's two. Oh, there's that one too, but that's just all my socials and stuff.
Nice.
And then my affiliate link to Play Asia. And
he needs to show
that
one of the comics. There we go.
Oh yeah, I always, that's my comic book store. I always forget to plug that one. So
Nice.
So yeah, come check us out there. If you're looking for a local comic book shop but you don't have one nearby, hit us up. We do subscriptions by mail, up to a 25% discount and free shipping.
all the ones around here are bad, so
Hey,
I don't go to any.
Rich, we'll have to get Felandra at your comic book store.
Oh,
Well-
absolutely. We support a lot of indie books, and I would absolutely love to have it. I think it would sell well.
Rich is a big indie.
Thank you, sir.
Supporter.
Oh,
I forgot. I forgot. There is one good one up here.
Oh, there's a comic book store.
Yeah, the one that burned. The one that burned down like a month ago.
Oh,
And of course,
Monarch.
Mata Sorcier is not here.
she's a sweetheart. I always
Mata is
love.
amazing.
Yes.
And she took this book and put all her art in it, and she's calling it some fancy shit. So you should get some fancy shit.
I like that. I like
That's
that
the
a lot.
title of the book, man. And folks, you know how it is. She's gonna kick this off on the 13th, but if we can get her to 100 followers, it'll be a great place to start, and that puts her in a better place in the algorithm when she does start. So this is for free. You can actually go sign up to get notified, and it's free, and it helps out the creator. Anytime you see these, go follow and help these creators out, because it also showcases to Kickstarter that there's people interested in these projects.
Yeah.
And Mata does everything herself. She's the letterer, the writer, the artist. Hire Mata today.
I was just gonna say I have to when we go to series, I got to see if she'd like to come work on Felandra.
There you go. She's
well
an
done.
amazing artist, folks.
Mm-hmm. So she's an awesome person and an awesome artist. I'm a fan of hers, and vice versa. And you have to support fellow professionals and friends and stuff like that. That's the way the world works. Encourage each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like we like to say here, we raise each other up. We rise together.
Exactly right. And Ralph even on my Instagram stories, he sees it all the time. I'm always
you're always
good vibes, passing
somebody or
good
another.
vibes.
Oh yeah. If you want to get entertained, follow Blake and then watch his stories.
I have stories to tell. No, but like you said, you lift things up, and I'm a big fan of that. So
that's what I like about a lot of the people I bring onto the show, like Rich and Blake. They believe in helping other people to get to where they are, or help them rise above.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Rising tide lifts all ships.
Exactly.
Rise.
So guys, we're at the end here. Am I forgetting something?
I forgot my mind years ago, but I haven't found it yet.
That's different. Mr. Nathan, are you there? I saw you try to go live from the train station. Yeah, Nathan was live from the train station, but we were in the middle of a conversation, so we couldn't go to him, trying to get home.
I think we lost him.
I hope he gets home safely.
Oh, he's already home.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He was in the back room for a bit because I couldn't see him. But
Like you couldn't see me.
Yeah, like I couldn't see you because the way that the way that
we both did that.
He's on his farewell tour, by the way.
Yeah, he's retiring, so
the way the StreamYard sets things up, it hides people on me. All right, folks, 2 hours. Gave you a big special. We're back. Happy New Year's. One more thing we say, we geeked out. You saw great art. You saw great stories. Now go follow these people and go make dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and I want to say thank you to everyone.
And if you're coming in right now, go rewatch the episode. We're done. We're out of here.
later.
Happy New Year.
And where it stops,